Mastery isn't about adding more, it's about needing less. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel. Welcome to the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast number 361. This is the one about Bruce Lee's path to mastery, from structure to freedom. As you're logging in, if you'd be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, hit the like button and feel free to continue doing so throughout the broadcast. If you're catching the simulcast over on the YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as well. But of course, the best thing you can do is to share this video and spread the word about the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. And for some reason, okay, Bucky's over on the YouTube, so I guess everything's fine. Oh, it's just my cold. That's why I couldn't hear stuff properly. I just needed to clear my ears. Okay. All right. So today we're going to dive into a topic that kind of speaks to the heart of true martial arts mastery, the evolution of skill, the process of refinement, and what Bruce Lee called the ultimate return to freedom. So, specifically, we're going to explore two of Bruce Lee's key ideas: the stages of a technique and the stages of sophistication. So, if you are unfamiliar with any of these, the stages of a technique, you can find that stuff in here. Jeet Kune Do commentary on page 88 is where you'll see it in print, and then on page 310 you'll see a replication of Bruce Lee's drawing of the three stages of a technique. And when it comes to the stages of sophistication, those are page 57 in the Art and Philosophy book, in case you're unfamiliar with all that, right? So, on the surface, these two can seem like separate concepts, but when you really understand them, you see how they perfectly overlap and how they can define the journey of a martial artist, right? Or really the journey of mastery in anything. But we're going to break it down and we're going to keep it JKD, all right? So, Bruce Lee described the three stages in learning and applying technique as synchronization with self, as stage one, synchronization with a partner, and then stage three was application under fighting conditions. Now, I forget where and I forget who, it might have been me, but I have seen a second version of this, which is four stages. And the third stage is actually synchronization with different types of opponents or different types of partners. And then stage four was application under fighting conditions, right? So synchronization with self, to me, that translates into shadow boxing, right? Anything that you're doing on your own. So if you're hitting the heavy bag on your own, top and bottom bag, speed bag, shadow boxing in the mirror, that type of thing, this is where you're learning technique in isolation. So you're focusing on your own movement, and this is where you aim to make sure that everything is mechanically correct. Okay. Synchronization with a partner, now it's putting that into action with a partner. So when I told you there was a second version of this that said different types of partners or different types of opponents, you don't have to change anything. You can just, this synchronization with the partner, this is where the training partner can be any type of training partner, right? So this is where it's no longer about just executing the movement correctly. Now, because you have a live person with you, it's about distance and timing and reaction, right? So you're working in partner drills, control sparring, sensitivity exercises, whatever. This is where you could say your technique starts to come alive. Application under fighting conditions is where things get real, right? Now you're testing in a dynamic, relatively unpredictable setting. This is where here in Miami, we deal with combinations of prearranged and free arranged. So because it's no longer a set drill, it's applied against an opponent who in various stages may or may not want you to succeed. So this is where adaptability and true effectiveness can be revealed. So that progression from solo practice to partner training to fighting condition application, this is critical. But it doesn't stop there, because this is where Bruce Lee's stages of sophistication come in. So, primitive stage, you're raw, unrefined, untrained. You're all instinct. Somebody says, I'm going to hit you in the head, and you flinch and your hands come up to instinctively protect your head. Okay. But there's no structure to it. There's no technique to it. There's no understanding necessarily of efficiency. Okay. You might throw technique, but it could be wild and uncoordinated, like we see, on online a lot, right? We see a lot of that. Okay. Your kicking might be off balance. So it's all instinct with no real refinement. So the second stage, the mechanical stage, this is where most martial artists spend the majority of their time. It's where you develop technique and structure and discipline. You learn the proper mechanics and you drill them over and over. But the catch is that you might become technically sound, but if you're not careful, this is where rigidity steps in. And this is where, if you're not careful, in a thing like Jeet Kune Do, the once fluid art crammed and distorted by what people turned into the classical mess. Now you can start to feel robotic and what have you, right? You might have the right technique, but you're still thinking about it rather than expressing it naturally. The return to original freedom, the third stage, the final stage, after years of training, um, mastering the mechanics, you reach a point where everything flows again naturally, like in the first stage, but you're no longer primitive. Now you're sophisticated. Okay. All right. And you you didn't, in the second stage, in the mechanical stage, you didn't become what Bruce Lee called intellectually bound, getting into the whole argument about whose style is better than what and what have you, and which version of Jeet Kune Do is the better version, and who really got it from Bruce, and all that kind of nonsense, right? So the return to the original freedom, could be philosophically or artistically expressed when Bruce Lee talked about a punch was just a punch before I studied the art. After I studied the art, a punch was no longer a punch. And when I truly understood the art, a punch was again just a punch. So at this third stage of original freedom, there's no attachment to technique. There's just expression. Okay. And we see that in Bruce Lee's own evolution. His movements were no longer about fixed patterns or preset responses. Bruce Lee reached a level where it's just about being in the fight, responding with whatever is necessary in the moment, which is a thing that he tried to illustrate in a couple of the fight scenes and what have you. So this is where stages of a technique and stages of sophistication fit in. The primitive stage is stage one of a technique. Just learning to synchronize yourself. You're developing coordination and basic movement, but it's still raw. In the mechanical stage, at stage two, working with a partner, refining techniques, making them functional. But because it's partner training, it can still be a little bit calculated. Sometimes it could even be a little bit stiff. Okay. In the return to original freedom, stage three of sophistication, true application under pressure, to use the popular term. This is where everything is instinctive and fluid and alive. And this, my friends, is your progression in Jeet Kune Do. You start with form, you develop function, and then you move beyond form and function into pure expression. Because keep this in mind, Bruce Lee's teachings were never about collecting techniques, like if there were trophies or something. Bruce Lee's teachings were always about evolution, moving from imitation, let's say, right, to mastery, to expression. And this is something that can go beyond martial art. It can apply to everything. It can apply to music, painting, it can apply to business, it can apply to life itself. But we're keeping it to Jeet Kune Do, right? But just remember that the journey from raw instinct to structure to free flowing mastery is universal. So the question to ask yourself as we finish this up is, where are you in this progression? Are you still in the mechanical stage, trying to perfect technique? Are you moving toward the return to original freedom? Wherever you are and wherever your students might be, the key is to keep evolving. Okay, so what say you? Do you think I nail this idea of blending stages of a technique and stages of sophistication, or was this just a whole lot of nothing? Right? Let me know what you think in the comments below. That's all I'm going to say about this video. I'm not going to look at the comments right now because I'm under heavy manners, right, at the request to do that. So if you like what you heard, comment, rate, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods, at paypal.me/unified MA Miami, paypal.me/unified MA Miami. The Jeet Kune Do Journey Volume 1 is the raw but edited version is available, paypal.me/unified MA Miami. You can also show some love. Where is it? By going over to the Jeet Kune Do Drills here on Facebook, Jeet Kune Do Drills page. Like it and become a follower over there. There's good stuff. It's taken me a while to get it up and running, but there's good stuff that's going to be coming down the pike for you guys on that. And that is it for today, which is a blue day. So I went there, right? So Doc, only two musketeers. Our hearts go out to Ronnie Reagan with what he's going through right now with his wife's medical situation. So only two of the musketeers are going to be on the road, heading out to see our good friend G. Anthony. And Ronnie, we will miss you. We'll be thinking about you the whole way. Um, yeah, so okay, so that's it for today. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. Take care. Talk soon.